What's happening, everyone? Welcome to the Total Football Show with myself, Nicky Hawkins, and my old pal Ryan Archie. We ain't got no music this week, mate.
No, no, London's calling.
Shall we sing it? Let's call in a foreign place. How's your weekend been, mate?
Yeah, it's been all right, mate. Not much has happened.
No.
We had a little. What was that football game? Wasn't it? West Ham played Tottenham.
They played someone. I can't remember who it was, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But
it's been a blinding weekend,
it's been a while since we've been here, mate.
It's been a few
Centre
weeks,
Force Radio, locked in and all that.
Yeah, it's work and hectic lifestyles, mate. We need to calm down a bit.
What's
that saying? Burning the candles at both ends.
That's exactly what it is, mate. And I've definitely been burning the candle at both ends for the life. But what you been up to anyway?
I'm gonna have a seat.
What you been up to?
What, in the last 4 weeks?
Yeah.
It's only an hour and a half show.
What interesting?
I booked my honeymoon yesterday.
Did you? Where you going?
Mexico.
Lovely. I'm going to Mexico soon. It's lovely there. Anything else? No,
I mean, mine's gone blank, mate.
You been planning with a wedding?
Yeah, wedding. Got the charity football game coming up as well.
When are we going to go and start getting our suits ready, mate? Because I'm ready for a dance, me.
Yeah, I've got to book that soon.
I'm booking your stag do this week as well.
Where are we going?
Secret. Right, so what we got? What we got on the agenda?
Well, we better start off with the West Ham game, I think.
You can't get that smile off my face, mate. I've been roaming around today like a cat that got the cream, so to speak, because it was we ain't been here for a few weeks, so there's a few performances that we haven't spoke about, but that performance on Saturday was absolutely top notch.
Yeah, we didn't come back because we was losing, so now we've won, we're going to come back and do the show. But
to be fair, right, like the last few weeks, when you look at the Leicester game, the Man United game with the controversial decisions that sort of cost us the games and all that sort of thing, we haven't played that bad.
No, performances haven't been that bad.
But we've still been leaking goals.
Yeah.
And I think the big difference on Saturday was one man. I think it was Issa Diop coming back in the defence. I think he absolutely bossed the game. He's a pedigree of a player.
Yeah, big players for us stepped up on Saturday. I mean, Fabianski as always, Diop, Balbuena, Fredericks I thought had a great game. Mark Noble in midfield, Arnautovic, Antonio. You know, it was just like everyone was up for it. I know people were going to say, they was only up for it because it was Tottenham, but the players you've seen that in them over the last few weeks, and decisions haven't been going our way. But on Saturday, it seemed like everything was going our way. And if you're gonna pick up your first win in a while, no better place to do it.
A little bit of maybe they've got one eye on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know they've. Look, I've seen all the excuses that Tottenham fans have been putting up on their forums and that. I've had Tottenham fans message me saying we deserved it, and I think looking back on it, we did deserve it. I mean, they had more possession than us, which you expect to be at home, but we had more shots on target. I think we sort of dominated the second half. We had better chances, and they're lucky that it was only 1-0. They're lucky that Issa Diop weren't a little bit faster and could finish.
When I looked it back, mate, he could have took another touch and slightly past him, you know?
I think he just panicked. He reminded me, like, the way he galloped through, he was like Patrick Vieira.
Well, the thing is, it was a little bit, it was a bit Vieira-esque. Yeah, I'll give you that. But it was, the way he galloped through after, I mean, we'll talk about the goal in a minute, but the way he galloped through, I think he was expecting a challenge from behind or the side at any second, but he was well clear. I didn't realise how clear he was.
I mean, Spurs, all right, it wasn't Tottenham's strongest team, but it's 11 against 11. It's still a weakened Spurs team. Is still a good team. Maybe them not making any signings is starting to catch up with them a bit when they've got to rest Llorente for a Champions League semi-final.
They have had a long season.
Yeah, they've done well. Well, look, I'm not. I think Spurs have had an unbelievable season, bearing in mind with the stadium fiasco and obviously not signing anyone. I think they've had a great season. They've got a massive game, probably the biggest game in their history on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've done well, but I mean, we'll talk a little bit about their stadium as well in a minute. But yeah, I think the performance from us was just unbelievable.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Mark Noble turned into Pirlo.
No.
I've not seen him turn like that for a long time.
First half, I'm going to break it down. First half, a little bit frustrating. But I think the plan from Pellegrini was, because I was berating Anderson because he just didn't seem to want to do anything. Didn't seem to want to go past the halfway line at times. And I was saying to you, he's got to get forward. He's, if there's anyone going to make anything happen, it's going to be him on the wing with the pace and all that sort of thing. And he just didn't seem to want to go past his man. But I think when looking back at it now in hindsight, it looks like Pellegrini was just saying to him, keep it tight, don't do anything silly, because I know he had Arthur Masuaku on that side, Ryan, who, he's had a couple of magnificent games, so he was due a bad one. Defensively, maybe he said to him, just make sure you're helping him out, make sure you're not too, you don't get caught too far away from him as they're coming forward, because as you know, they've got players that can do damage to teams, and he didn't seem to do that. But second half, it just opened up. It opened up nicely, and then other players started getting on the ball. Players like Arnautovic and Antonio started getting more on the ball. Anderson started getting on the ball a little bit more. As you said, Mark Noble in midfield turned into Perlo. Some of the turns he was doing. Declan
Rice as well, another great performance from him. He just gets better and better every week. But we needed our big players to step up, and they've definitely done that in the second half.
And the thing is, I hear a lot of this nonsense about their team. I know they're missing Kane and they're missing Winks. I don't know how important Winks is to them. I know he's probably a little bit important to them. But I know they're resting people and all that, and people are saying to me, it ain't the best Spurs team. It ain't the best Spurs team that that you could have played. But it ain't the best West Ham team that they could have played, Ryan, because you're missing like Lanzini, Nasri, Yarmolenko, still all these players out injured. Jack Wilshere.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think the pundits were a bit harsh on West Ham on Saturday night when I watched the replays back. Not all of them. I mean, some of them were giving us the plaudits that we deserved, and they singled out Issa Diop, and it was his first game for a little while. He's back in the team, making that partnership with Balbuena again. And hopefully them two will see out the season. Now I think Fredericks as well. I thought he had a good game, but when you watch it back, that tackle that he put in second half to stop that goal scoring chance, I think it was Llorente. That was a great tackle. That's a match winning tackle. Masuaku first half wasn't great. Second half he was better. Got on the ball a bit more. Anderson as well. And I just thought I thought everything went right for us. I mean, I wasn't fearing going now. But I thought if they get one, they're going to go on and get 2 or 3. It's just going to be one of them games. But I thought if we get one, we're going to win it.
But I'll be honest with you, right? All the time I was sitting there watching it, they looked lethargic. They looked laboured. Spurs. I never feared that we was going to concede, apart from probably when Son went through in the first 10 minutes, sort of thing. You know what I mean? I never feared that they was gonna score at any time. Like, it wasn't one of them hearts in your mouth moments. You know what I mean? I don't remember any, apart from probably the last kick of the game with Janssen.
Yeah, Janssen off the Balbuena off the line. But I mean, should we talk a little bit about their stadium? What we think of their stadium?
I can't say it right. Can't say what I think of it.
Nah, do you know what? Look.
It's a
for me, if I was
stadium.
a Tottenham fan and you walk in there, it's worth the wait. My only disappointment was the atmosphere. There wasn't really no atmosphere on Saturday. I don't know whether that's because it's an early kick-off or what. And I was expecting a bit more. But look, you can't knock them. It's a beautiful stadium. And as I said, it was worth the wait. I mean, look what we have to put up with week in, week out of the London Stadium.
Well, listen, mate.
We celebrated getting a carpet the other week.
Listen to me. They can have the best
70% off sale that was as well.
Best stadium they can have, but have they got a carpet? No, they haven't.
No, they haven't got a carpet.
I said this on post-match point. They haven't got a carpet, mate. Joking aside, look, it's a beautiful stadium, and it's something that. What about for the fan going in? Did you find it easier going in?
Yeah, do you know what? That's the first time I've been to. Well, obviously it's not White Hart Lane, but whatever they call it now, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And do you know what, the transport links, because we went to what was it, Northumberland Park station. That's the first time I've ever been there. Stratford to there took 15 minutes. It was a 5-10 minute walk.
Yeah.
And to the stadium, even coming out afterwards. I know we stay behind after to do the fan interviews and that, but even by that time, it didn't take us long to get home. So
No.
yeah, I mean it's improved sort of that way, because I know more people probably now go Tottenham Owl and White Hart and Seven Sisters and things like that. So it's nice having that little station just by the away end. I didn't even know it was there.
No. Has it been there all the time?
Yeah, it must have been. Yeah, it must have been. But yeah, I think outside it looks a bit like not the area, but the stadium looks a bit like Wembley, how open it is, and everyone can walk round. And
I'll be honest, when I got inside, it felt like Wembley. It felt a little bit like Wembley.
It felt more like the Emirates when they kept flashing up that red and white sponsor thing.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Tottenham fans ain't happy about that, so I think they're going to have to look at that, try to change that.
But no, the seating area felt like Wembley. The concourse was like an airport departure lounge.
Yeah. Yeah, even
strange toilet design as well.
Not only that, even when you put your ticket in to go in, it was like the glass doors.
Yeah, glass
that open,
doors.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, that's a weird one, because there wasn't many stewards there looking, and if that glass door opens, people could just run in, couldn't they?
Yeah, of course they could. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how that sort of works, but no, look, it's a beautiful stadium, but enough of that.
So your match day was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match day. Yeah, I thought it was getting there was all right.
Did you buy anything to eat or drink?
No.
I bought a glass of orange, the Fanta.
Well, they weren't serving beer, was they? Which was disappointing, because I know they were serving it to the home fans, but come on, look, if you don't treat football fans like that, you go there, how much are they going to drink in an hour?
Yeah, that's right,
and it winds fans up more when you don't serve them beer. I think it just I don't think it's right. If you're going to do it for the away fans, do it for the home fans.
Also, it gives them like the people that do like a drink before the game. It all it does is they just go out an hour earlier.
Yeah.
Go to the off licenses, go drinking on the streets and whatever. About terms of crowd trouble, do you see anything?
Yeah, I mean, look,
a few scuffles.
Yeah, there's a few scuffles outside. It's West Ham Tottenham at the end of the day. I see a couple as we was walking down. Obviously, there were some bits after as well, but that's just the nature of a London derby. Two rival fans.
Should it be the nature of a London derby?
No, look, we're in 2019 now. Like, it's more of a family game now. There's young kids that go to football now. They don't really want to be seeing that. But then you're always gonna get the people that build up for these sort of games, that want to go there and just do that sort of thing. So, look, it's not something I'll get involved in personally. But if that's what people want to do, if that's how they want to let off their anger. People, Tottenham fans say that they don't care about West Ham, but they do. It's a London rival. You're going to get that. Teams hate each other, fans hate each other. That's just the way football is. That's in any nature. That can go through any sport. You're always going to get rival teams that hate each other. You get rival dart players that hate each other.
Yeah.
You get rival snooker players that hate each other. You get their fans that hate their fans. It's just...
Look, you touched a little bit on it. There was a little bit of a. I'm not going to go too much into it, but there are a big topic over the last couple of weeks and all this stuff since more the England Montenegro game went on, is racism within football and sport in general, but football becomes the main topic, and we've all seen these. These idiots that are chanting things on the trains and on transports and things like that, and like we've totally sort of condemned it. It's not right. It's not right in 2017. People shouldn't. Oh, that's a big me, isn't it?
2017. You've lost
2019. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen now. 2019. It's not right in 2019 to be to have to talk about these things, but there are. In my mind, there is racist slurs come towards West Ham fans, and we got some of it on Saturday, but that doesn't seem to be spoken about. Now, I'm not going to sit here and moan about it, because, my grandparents are of Irish heritage, right? And we all know the word we're talking about when we're talking about racial slurs towards. There are some people that don't think that's racist. There are some people that think that's racist and all that. Well, what's your take on all of that sort of stuff, because as I said a couple of weeks ago, there was a couple of videos and things of West Ham fans doing this, but it seems to be look, I don't want to sit here and moan about it, because I'm not that sort of person. Do you know what I mean? I'm not that sort of person to start pointing fingers and saying, right, this is it. But if it's, you're saying it about one thing, and we're talking about the anti-Semitism thing when it comes to Tottenham, surely you've got to speak about the other thing.
Yeah, I mean, what Spurs fans seem to label us, it doesn't offend me. Doesn't really offend me, but it can offend people.
Offends me.
If it offends one person, then it's got to be looked into.
Yeah.
It's not right. You can't. As you said earlier, it's been going on a lot lately. It's been highlighted a lot.
It really
football is the biggest sport in the world, isn't it? It's watched all over the world, especially the Premier League. So anything that goes on is highlighted straight away. Not for all clubs though. Not for all clubs. Some things go sort of under the radar, under the carpet. we use the carpet because we love the carpet. But I mean, it don't really offend me. They can call me what they want.
It does offend me because I've got, but as I said, it offends me. But I'm not one of them people that's going to sit there. I mean, I see a picture earlier of. I mean, this is when they're grasping at straws of the crowd celebrating, and there's a guy in the West Ham end that's got his arm up in the air. It looks like a Nazi salute.
Yeah.
But if you look at it properly, there's lots of them like that, and they're telling them to sit down.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a video as well that shows him saying sit down, but that camera's just caught him, unfortunately,
at the wrong time.
During that angle, it's. But then straight away people jump on it. It goes all over social media, and then everyone labels West Ham fans racist when it's innocent. That's just modern day social media.
We have to be more careful about what we're labelling as racist.
I think you go into a football ground now, and you got to think about what you say before you say it. And like back in the days, even over the last 5 years, you could have that banter with Tottenham fans and Chelsea fans and Arsenal fans, and when you go up north, you'll have it with the Scousers and things like that.
Don't get me wrong, right? I'm not saying it's right.
No, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying.
Like, if you say, we all know the famous phrase against Chelsea fans. If you say that, you're homophobic. If you say, the word that Tottenham fans call themselves to a Tottenham fan, you're anti-Semitic.
I don't. But some of these people might not find it offensive. Some of these people might find it as football banter.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's right, but they might not take offence. It seems that the people that are taking offence are the journalists that can get a story, and the fans that don't go to football, and then they just want to start all this stuff over social media and saying this person's racist, this club's racist, these set of fans are racist.
But surely we've got to be. I mean, you've got to hype. But this is an argument that went on for so long. We've had an argument with a well-known journalist ourselves about something. But surely, look, this. Yeah, it should be stamped out. Absolutely, 100%. Like when I see the things like with the Mo Salah video, and I'm not a big fan of the Tottenham song myself. I've never sung it myself, but when they're labelling us a certain thing and they're labelling them a certain thing, surely there's got to be a point where you say, right, look, it's wrong, stamp it out, but. You're labelling, you're putting such a broad thing. You can't say, as you said, you have to think about everything.
Yeah.
Everything you say. And anything you say could be misconstrued as...
Not even that, even everything you post on Twitter or Facebook or any social media platform. You have to think, because what you see and what your mates might see and what your fellow fan base might see as innocent, someone else will pick that up and turn it into something completely different, and then you could end up losing your job or something like that over a stupid remark that you don't mean it. It comes across different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just look, social media's got a lot to answer for. It can be great for some things, but it can be. I've always called it the devil. I'd love to not have social media, but with what we do, you need to have social media.
I'll be honest with you, mate. We're a social media platform, but. I put on my personal Twitter the other day, there was a sweet little girl. You must have seen this video as well.
Yeah, I see it. The Tottenham girl.
Yeah, Tottenham girl. They've lost to West Ham. You know, and this is something I want to talk about. This if we got to go to a break soon, haven't we?
You got 2 minutes.
All right, so yeah, so we'll get into this a little bit, but social media in itself in football, sweet disabled girl who's, you know, gone to Tottenham for the day. They've got, you know, brilliant entertainment there. They've got like live band in the concourse and all that, and she's standing there dancing her heart out. You know, don't worry about the result, enjoying herself. And the comments from social media was absolute. And I said at the time, you know, it is just so rancid.
Do you know what made me laugh with some of them comments is that I see now, if people was gonna be nasty to that little girl, you think that it would come from rival fans,
and
it was their own fans that were saying nasty things, and that's the thing about social media. That is why I don't put pictures of my daughter up on social media. That's why you keep all your personal stuff off social media, because it only takes someone to take photo, edit it, and do something, and you know you can't do nothing about it, but you lose your mind over it.
It is so. I mean, the things that come out of Tottenham fan, every West Ham fan I see. Now, I'm not going to say everyone. I can't vouch for everyone that's commented. I can't read them all. But you know, there was a guy, you know, that I commented on and retweeted with a quote saying, you know, something, you know, chill out, you bleep. We've lost. You know what I mean? And I thought to myself, how? So, but you normally find from these people, Ryan, they are faceless, nameless. 100% not accountable for what they're saying. They're saying it for a reaction, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the thing is that people have got to start to realise that, you know, these comments and things affect people's life. That poor girl, I felt so sorry for some of the things.
It's the girl ain't gonna see all that. It's the parents.
It's the proud
dad that put a video of his daughter. It's horrible when things like that happen, because he can't do nothing.
Do you know what he said?
He looks at that account and it's got 10 followers. It's a fake picture. You can't do nothing. But this is where maybe social media like Twitter need to stamp down and make sure when people sign up that they put all their personal details to an account.
I was just about to say, when you come into Twitter, I know we've got to go into a break. Should we start this conversation on the way back? Yeah. I've seen West Ham accounts like it. I've had arguments with West Ham fan accounts about it, and as you go through social media, you start to just seem to learn to block it out, because when sort of look, I'm not saying we're a big account at all, but when they get people like me who, you know, is in the West Ham public eye arguing with them, they sort of take that as a sort of a badge of honour sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I've seen some vile things from the you know, the West Ham ones. You know what I mean? I remember once, I'll mention him. I don't care. The fake Colton Cole used to post pictures of babies getting waterboarded and things like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just to stir up reactions. Now, what you brought up before was a great point. I think signing up to these social accounts, you know, because if they get banned, this is the thing about them. If they get banned, they just go straight on and create another one, and start doing it all over again.
And you always know it's the same one, because they always follow the same people and get the same followers.
We've had the same, you know, we've had one person, you know, trolling us all over, saying things that ain't true about us, trying to tarnish our name. You know what I mean? We all know what we're talking about here, and you know, it gets deleted, or you know, you block them, and they just go and create another account. Now, why can't you do this with social media? Why don't social media, when you open an account, get treated like you're opening a bank account, or you know, something important where you have to prove who you are, prove you live where you live. I opened up a money transfer thing with a card the other day. I had to send them my passport, then I had to send them a video with me with my passport, and this is me. But that ain't I know you're going to laugh, but it ain't a bad idea, right, is it? Because, because I think if you got that in place and everyone had to prove who they were, you know, even if you didn't want to use your real name, I know some people don't want to use your real name, and you've got companies, you know, our West Ham Fan TV hasn't got a name attached to it, it's just what we attach ourselves to it. But somebody on that account that is accountable for all that goes on, I think it'd stamp it out. And then if they say, because you'll always get the silly people that say something stupid or try and offend someone, and if they get banned, they're out. And if they reapply, they've got to prove it they are again, and they can look at them and go, no, you've already been banned once, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The thing is as well, I mean, it goes deeper than it on social media with these trolls, because someone could set up I could set up a Twitter account now, go on, troll someone, that person can really get affected by it, end up suicide, killing themselves, and it affects their family for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And I delete my Twitter account and I go on my life not even knowing what's gone on.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing with social media. But so there is good with social media as well. It's just you're always going to get it unless they were. I know that I heard on the radio just when I was on my way here, apparently that they're all these social media accounts are now meeting up to try to stamp things like this out. So hopefully, they can get something sorted, because it can't go on, because it just ruins it for everyone else.
Well, that for me is the only option.
Yeah.
Because, people just standing there anonymous. As I said, they say the most vile thing. I mean, I see that man, my heart was breaking for that man with his daughter, because he was saying, I thought I'd try Twitter, but obviously with some of the comments, like, Twitter ain't for me, I'm going to have to come off of it and all that. Why should someone, have to come off of it? That man, he's proud of his daughter. I see a West Ham man who's got a daughter with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
And he posts photos of her, videos of her singing. And she's having a wonderful time, and there's only wonderful comments. I'm sure that he does get the odd Wally on there, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I know you're on about. I've seen the abuse that he gets sometimes, and but do you know what? He just keeps posting away because he's proud, and that's all you can do. Yeah,
good. I hope that they find a way to stamp them Twitter trolls out. Anyway, what we got?
Well, let's go through the Premier League, mate. Started on Friday night, Liverpool back to the top of the league, 5-0 win over Huddersfield.
Now this is turning out to be one ding dong power at the top of this league, mate. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think it could all come down to this weekend. Liverpool were just on. If you're Huddersfield, you're going to Anfield, you're thinking, right, let's keep it tight for the first 20. And then we'll try to get in at half-time 0-0, and then we'll try to get out of here with a point. 15 seconds after kick-off, they're 1-0 down. Yeah. That's the end of the game for them.
Huddersfield have been awful.
Yeah, they're one of the worst Premier League teams I've seen in a long time. They've offered
the record low points.
No, I think that was Derby County or something like that. But they've offered absolutely nothing this year. But do you know what? They've taken 6 points off Wolves this season.
Have they really?
Yeah, they beat them home and away this season.
They've only got 14 points.
I know. They took a point off of us, which, well, to be fair, ain't that hard.
They nearly could have took 4.
They could have took 4 points off us. But Liverpool were just flying, and Salah broke all records again on Friday night. I think he's their highest ever goal scorer after 100 games or something like that. So, yeah, he's... and he didn't even make the PFA team of the year. He won, it's unbelievable.
It shows how high the standard is.
Yeah, Mane got 2 goals. He did make the team of the year, which is, I think, well deserved. It's a great player.
I'll be honest with you, I think he's been the better of the two this year.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Pete was saying Salah's having a really bad season, but he's still scored over 20 goals and he's got the most assists, and it's just crazy. When I wish we had that problem.
Yeah,
at West Ham.
Yeah, someone that ain't doing as well but scored 20 goals.
They've got the PFA Player of the Year, Virgil van Dijk. Do you know what? I see a stat earlier and I had to check it out because I thought, this can't be real. Do you know Felipe Anderson has made double more tackles than Virgil van Dijk?
Really?
Yeah. How mad's that?
Just shows you what they're working with.
Yeah. Even that Arsenal defender that everyone was going mad about the other. Yeah, he's got better stats than Van Dijk. But I just think when you're at the top of the league, you get recognised more.
But you look at when they play right, he's the reason that they're top of the league. You know what I mean? When they play the big games, because they look Saturday, they didn't even break sweat.
No, Liverpool. A couple of seasons ago, they was missing a world-class goalkeeper and a world-class centre-back, and they went out and got them both. And look at them now; they're 2 games potentially away from winning the Premier League. They could finish this season on 97 points and still not win it.
Yeah.
When I see it today that they're on 91 points with 2 games to go. Sir Alex Ferguson's highest ever Premier League total was 91 points.
Really?
That's all he's ever got. So they've matched that already. They could break that and still not win the Premier League. How gutted must you feel?
Well, it just showed. I think when we went down, right, I think we went down on the highest ever points. I think it was 42. We went down on 42 points.
Yeah, it's unbelievable this season.
Just out of your luck.
You got 2 great teams battling it out, and it's not like you got the top 4. It seems like no one wants to get in that top 4 at the moment.
See, I tipped Liverpool for the league from the beginning.
Yeah,
from the very first game when I watched them, I thought, no, this is a team that's going to go the distance this year. You know, and I've been proved right, but it's a testament to them that they are so close to City.
They've lost 1 game all season. City have lost 4.
Yeah,
that's what I said to you. I remember saying it ages ago that that's what's going to let them down is their draws. And you know, they went through a period where they were 10 points clear at one point.
Yeah,
you know,
but that's the what you know top teams do, isn't it? They look at the, you know, when they're behind. You know, they see a gap. When Liverpool were drawing games, they drew with us. Leicester, wasn't it, on the same week? That sort of knocked their points difference out. So Liverpool and Man City haven't slipped up since.
No,
they've looked at that opening. They went, right, that's the opening. We've got to be consistent.
City have had some tough games as well. You know, Tottenham going to Old Trafford, Burnley away is not easy, but they've come through it. But yeah, I mean, Liverpool went back to the top of the league on Friday, which put a bit of pressure on City, who were playing Sunday. But yeah, as for Saturday's results, the early one, Tottenham 0, West Ham 1. Should we talk about that again? No.
Yeah,
we'll leave that.
I can speak tonight about that.
Crystal Palace 0, Everton 0. Nah, not really a great game. It's Palace are safe. Everton, well, they had a chance to go for that top 7, but yeah,
that's who Man City have got, I think. No, that's who Tottenham have got last game of the season, Everton. Yeah, they've been in a little bit of a good form lately.
But next up, Fulham 1, Cardiff 0. Now this is if Cardiff had any chance of staying up, they needed to get something out of this game. And yeah, they obviously lost to already relegated Fulham that I think have won their last 3 now. It's always the way, innit? When you get relegated, I mean, Ryan Babel scored a class goal. I mean, he's getting released by Fulham at the end of the season.
Who's taking him,
he's 33. No, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because would you risk him for a couple of seasons? He stood out in a poor Fulham team. If maybe someone like a newly promoted team might take him. I don't know.
Norwich or something.
Yeah, Norwich, Sheffield United, or whoever else comes up. But yeah, I don't. But yeah, Cardiff really needs to get something out of it. I mean, they've got 2 tough games left now. So if Brighton are going to stay up, it's going to be by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah.
But they need a lot of work in the summer, Brighton. Staying on the south coast, Southampton 3, Bournemouth 3. Yeah,
what a game that was.
Yeah, quality game of football. It sealed Southampton's league status for another year.
Yeah.
They only needed a point because Cardiff lost.
That makes it a little bit less tense for us next week, I think.
Yeah, we go into the game against them at the weekend now. They've already stayed up. But I'd like to see us, you know, I want to see Southampton come there and give us a game. I want it to be a good game. I don't want to just turn up to the last home game of the season and it be a boring
0-0.
You know, like last year we had Everton and we give them a good go and we beat them, what was it, 3-1 or 3-0 or something, wasn't it?
3-1 I think it was.
And, yeah, so... But no, it was a great game. Some great goals. But yeah, Southampton stay up and their manager's done well considering when he took over they were, I think, like there was 6 or 7 points adrift at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on, Watford lost at home to Wolves. Played each other a few weeks ago in the FA Cup semi-final. I see a few Wolves fans on Twitter saying about we've got revenge over Watford, and I thought I'd rather lose a Premier League game that means nothing than lose an FA Cup semi-final.
Well, does it mean nothing to them? Because they're still fighting for 7th, and 7th could still be UEFA Cup place.
I don't really think Watford wants 7th place. Wolves remind me of us when we come up under Pardew. You know,
fearless,
attractive, attacking football,
good structure.
Yes. The only difference is that they never made the FA Cup final, but they're going for Europe, and they've had a great season, Wolves, and. it's going to be interesting next season because it's going to be an interesting summer for them as well. Because I can imagine a lot of teams coming in for their players. They've got some great players, but they've already done well to tie a couple of them down. So, listen, Wolves going.
They've got a project, mate.
If Wolves improve in the summer, who knows that they could push for top 6, maybe. Dare say it, but top 4 because if they can carry on playing the way they're playing, they've gone to these big teams this season and they've been fearless and they've given them a game. And I'm not saying they're going to get Champions League football, but look, who would have sat here 5 years ago and said, look, Leicester are going to be Championship champions in a couple of years' time? You would never have said it.
Especially when they had to win something like 9 of their last 10 games to stay up.
Yeah,
the season before, you know what I mean? It was.
And the last game on Saturday was Brighton 1, Newcastle 1, and that was a massive point for Brighton.
Yeah,
you know, it's sort of.
Newcastle have been in a little bit of a good form lately.
Yeah, Newcastle. I think
they've had an upturn.
Yeah, I think they were. About 6 weeks ago, they was dragged into it in a relegation battle.
But they had that little good bit of form before we beat them. Then we beat them, and then they've just gone on and carried on their form. They made a couple of smart signings in the window, which it actually looked like he wasn't going to give them up until they made them signings. But yeah, they've done well. Rafa's a good manager.
Well, Rafa could have a big say because he plays Liverpool at the weekend, and we'll talk about it in a minute, but I think that might be where Liverpool slip up.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, moving on to Sunday, Leicester 3, Arsenal 0. Do you know what? If you last season, 2 seasons ago, whatever, you'd say that's a shock result, but it was the way Arsenal have been playing the last few weeks, that's not a shock result. And that could have been, honestly, mate, that could have been 5 or 6.
Yeah, especially
easy.
After the man got sent off. You could see him getting sent off though. He was having all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, I felt a bit sorry for him. I don't think the first challenge was the yellow card, and I think the second one, I think that Maddison made a big meal out of it, and he made the referee's mind up for him. But yeah, once he got sent off, Arsenal had a good chance just before that. Iwobi had a chance to put them 1-0 up, and that's Premier League. If you don't take your chances, you soon find yourself a man down and then a goal down.
We spoke about this, the Tottenham game that we had that weekend. Now, Man City beat him a couple of weeks ago, which give Chelsea, Man United and Arsenal a chance to catch up. And Arsenal especially, because they have got they was in the better position to overtake Tottenham, fluff their lines. Against Crystal Palace, and then they get beat again yesterday by us, which was, to everyone a shock result. And again, they go to Leicester and they just get absolutely demolished. It doesn't look like any of them 3 want to take it because they're awful at the minute.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like they don't want it. It seems like one slips up, there's a chance for someone's
just going to grab it by by default. I think that 4th place. You know,
give it away. They have a raffle at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think. They've all been in really poor form.
The next game, Burnley 0, Man City 1. I mean, I watched this game and Man City just done a professional job. It was tough. Burnley's always a tough place to go. They've got some big, strong players that cause you trouble. But Man City would just.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's a big enough test now for City to.
They've got Leicester at home and Brighton away. Yeah, I can't see him losing. But it's the Premier League. You never know. You never know. What Leicester done to Arsenal. They could go when they got a player like Vardy, who's on form at the moment under Brendan Rodgers. They could nick a shock win. It happens.
When you look back to when they first won the title, mate, they was losing to Crystal Palace. QPR.
QPR with like 2 minutes to go. It was 3-2.
2-1 down.
2-1 down, weren't they?
They was losing to QPR.
That's what I want.
Who were already relegated.
I want an Aguero moment, or you want a Salah moment. So just one of them little twists and turns, because it's why we love the Premier League. It's why it is the biggest football league in the world, and why it's the most watched. Because bottom can beat top.
Yeah,
it don't matter. But yeah, Man City, Aguero, goal line technology. If they didn't have that.
He didn't give it, did he? He wasn't going to give it.
Well, he looked at his watch straight away and it flashed up.
But he had to.
Yeah, he had to look at it.
No linesman.
Don't get me wrong. It was close. It was centimetres over the line, But if the referee wouldn't have had that technology, but then again, if VAR weren't around, Liverpool probably wouldn't be top of the top of the league. They're probably like mid-table or something like that. That's why it's going to be interesting next season with VAR, because I think the way our decisions this year, I think we'll be top. We'll have the league wrapped up by April. Man City just done a professional job. Aguero, he's like, as I've said, one of the most underrated strikers in world football. He don't get mentioned up there with the Messis, Ronaldos, but he does it every year. He scores these goals, important goals, and he wins titles.
But I think the thing is the same in midfield. David Silva. David Silva is a silky player.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva as well. Someone that they signed as a backup is his first name on the team sheet these days. He got Sterling.
Well, Mahrez is threatening to leave because of him.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. And look at him; he's a £50 million player. Fernandinho, even Vincent Kompany's come back into the team now, and he looks like Vincent Kompany from 10 years ago.
Well, he's on a free transfer at the end of the year.
Like a Premier League team need to snap him up. Like, I'm not saying it has to be one of the top 4 clubs, but an Arsenal could do with him at the moment.
Oh,
you know. But moving on, last game of the day, Man United won, Chelsea won. I remember a few years ago, this used to be a massive fixture. This looked like 2 mid-table teams yesterday. I mean, there was one part where Lukaku, now I've never really noticed it about him, but he's a lump, isn't he?
Lukaku,
but he looks like he's put on a little bit more weight. And look, he's probably got a six-pack and he's fit, but when players are athletes now, he looks a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And there was one point where he made a burst from the halfway line, and it was 26 minutes gone, and he was breathing like heavily, and even Gary Neville on the commentary was saying about it, and like, I was thinking to myself, even when you look at Luke Shaw, now he's not the slimmest of players, is he? Now I don't know what's going on at Man United at the moment. It's like they're not the Man United of old, are they?
I was looking at some of the stuff. I mean, we sat here at Christmas time when Solskjaer took over the job, and he went, I think it was 14 games undefeated in all competitions, and then we were sitting there saying about how much of a magnificent job they're doing, he's doing, blah blah blah, but we did question at the time, right, whether or not he was the right man for the job long term, because they was talking about Pochettino, who is a top class manager. They was talking about Pochettino and all that stuff, and I was saying, like, I remember. Do you remember me saying this about the Di Matteo effect? Yeah. I said Di Matteo took over at Chelsea. He won them the Champions League when he took over at Chelsea, but by November the next year, he was gone, because they have that little burst. The players have that little, they turn it on a little bit because they think, right, this is new beginnings and all that sort of stuff. Then they slip back into their old ways. Now, what I've been reading about Solskjaer lately is he's gone up and took them back to their old training ground. He's took them from Carrington up to somewhere called the Castle or the Hill or whatever I can't remember what it's called, but and he's took them back up there. But they moved from there because it was such an outdated training facility. They built Carrington because it was so outdated. He's trying to bring this nostalgia, and I think that's how he's trying to keep a little bit of faith with Man United fans. Is that he's bringing the nostalgia, the nostalgia back to the club. I'll bet you by about September next year, they've lost. If they start bad, by the end of September, he's gone, and Alex Ferguson's in charge for a month before they appoint someone new.
I can't see Alex Ferguson taking over.
I'm telling you.
He's obviously, he's got his health issues, and he don't need the stress, bless him. But yeah, I think you're right. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be there sort of by September, latest October.
Since that, mate, he doesn't look like he's got a clue.
No, he looks very stressed. He's aged about 20 years in the last month. He's lost 8 in his last 10 games or something like that. And I think that's their worst. He went from having their best record in how many years to having their worst record in.
And let's be honest, mate, the game that they played against us at Old Trafford, they're very, very lucky to come out with a
once
result
again,
there.
VAR. Anderson was never offside. He was onside.
And they wasn't penalties.
No.
Both of them. Yeah.
It's VAR, but I mean, that's it for the weekend, mate. I think we should have a nice little song, and then we've got loads more to talk about in the last half an hour.
What we got now, right? You're not even near the mic, mate. You're mucking about with a mixed desk.
I'm sorting it out. Yeah, Champions League, mate. Champions League tomorrow.
What we got coming up on centre force? Daryl Privet after us.
Yeah.
Daryl Privet.
Yeah.
Daryl Privet. La Fiesta. Yeah. Keep locked on for Daryl Privet after us. But what we got now in terms of this show?
Well, tomorrow you got the Champions League. First legs, semi-finals, Tottenham versus Ajax. It's going to be an interesting one because Ajax are a good team.
Listen,
it's going to be a real test for Tottenham.
I watched that game last week against Man City, right? And Tottenham, it was one of the. If you wanted an advert for a competition, and that game was playing, mate, that's all you need, because it was it was full of goals, controversy, VAR decisions, disallowed goals, controversial. It was such a good game for the neutral. But when they won it, Tottenham, they was fully deserved, because they had to go to Man City. I know that Man City lost 1-0, but I believe that Pep Guardiola lost them that game, right? Because he messed around too much in the first leg. He was trying to be arrogant with. You remember in the first leg when he bought.
I remember as well that Aguero missed a penalty in that first leg.
He did miss a penalty, yeah. But did you remember it was 1-0, and on the 89th minute he brought on sort of De Bruyne, Sane, and someone else, and he was sort of like trying to send a message to sort of Pochettino and saying, well, you've got away with one tonight, and this is what we've got coming next week. It was such a rip-roaring game. And I said at the time, I tweeted it out, look, all rivalry aside and all that, you got to look at that club and the way they've run their club. You know what I mean? You've got the billions of City. Liverpool are always been good in Europe, so they've always been, they're always getting to semi-finals and finals of European competitions. But you've got to respect what they've done, Tottenham. You've got to respect the way that they've done it. They've done it right. They've just moved into a new place. They've absolutely give their fans already more memories than a lot of clubs would have had in their history going in that stadium. But they play an Ajax side that have just had two big scalps. Can you see this being... Who's the favourite here?
It's a tough one to call, isn't it? I think if it was a fully fit Tottenham team with a Harry Kane, I think they'd be favourites. But the way Ajax have been playing... I think they go into this over the two legs.
I don't think there is a favourite.
I think Ajax will edge out Spurs. I think I'm going to go for a draw tomorrow night, and I think Ajax have beat them out.
Is it in Amsterdam?
No, it's at, I was going to say Wembley. Wembley. That's how used to I am saying it. But yeah, I think Tottenham are just going to fall short. But it might have been different if they had a fully fit team with a Harry Kane scoring goals.
But we said that against City.
Yeah, no, look, Tottenham can do it. So there's no reason why Tottenham can't do it. They've still got world-class players in their team.
Do you want them to do it?
Do I want them to do it?
English team and all that?
No.
I think it's the only one I don't.
No, I don't want. I want an Ajax Barcelona final.
I'm normally all right with English teams. I support English teams in Champions Leagues and all that. I like to see the English teams. Like I was supporting Liverpool when they got to the final last year. But they're the only team.
One thing I would say is it's an exciting time to be a Spurs fan going into a semi-final of a Champions League, and good luck to them. Moving on. Wednesday, Barcelona versus Liverpool. Liverpool go to the Nou Camp first.
Now this would be a tasty go.
This is going to be interesting because obviously you've got the Coutinho and the Suarez factor about it. It's going to be tough.
Coutinho's been awful.
Yeah, but Liverpool can go there and get a result. They can nick a point. They will score out there.
Yeah,
but Barcelona could put 5 past them. That's the Barcelona that we know.
Can they? Because Liverpool is such a... No. They're a different team now, Ryan. And as I said just now, they've got previous in Champions League. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm
very
saying.
Successful Champions League
European
team.
experience.
Barcelona are one of the most successful.
Yeah, Barcelona, I think they've won it. They're up there with Real Madrid, and they've won it the most times. And that.
Yeah.
Look, any team that's got Messi in it, you could put Messi in Bristol City's team and they're probably going and win the Champions League. That's how good he is. But yeah, it's going to be interesting next couple of weeks, because Barcelona could win this 2-0 tomorrow night, but then they've got to go to Anfield, and Anfield on a European night, I think teams go there and they're already 1-0 down because of the atmosphere.
Do you know what I think might be the difference between this game? Barcelona wrapped up the league last week. Liverpool are still fighting hard.
Yeah,
the league.
It's going to be tough. It's tough to fight two major titles. I mean, you got the Premier League. What do Liverpool want more, the Champions League or the Premier League? It's a tough one.
I would argue the Premier League.
Yeah, of course it is, because they've won the Champions League not that long ago. Was it 2005? When it something like that?
Well, they've been to finals as well.
I say it's not a long time ago. It's
14 years.
It's 14 years ago, but the Premier League is what they want. It's what their fans want, and but is it what Jurgen Klopp wants? Is it what the owners want? Is it what the players want? You know, I think. Look, I remember when I didn't learn a lot from when I played football. One thing that always stuck in my mind was when our manager turned around and said, "Go out and win the league because it makes you're the best in that league. The other cup competitions are just a bonus," and that is right. You want to win the league because you want to say, "Yeah, we're the best."
But there's so much money associated to the Champions League. That's the
yeah.
difference.
But Liverpool go and win both.
Of course they could.
It's one of them.
Really possible. Can you see? I know you said you wanted an Ajax Barca final, but can you easily see a Tottenham Liverpool final?
It could happen. It could happen. But I just think it. I think Barcelona. I think Ajax Barcelona are going to both get through. Yeah, but look, as a neutral, I'd love to see a Tottenham Liverpool final. We're going to talk about the Europa League now. Arsenal played Valencia, and Chelsea travelled to Frankfurt on Thursday. There could be an all-English final there. Arsenal Chelsea.
So you could have two all-English finals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I think that my mate was talking about this earlier, because Arsenal, the final of that, you'd have a London derby and the finals in Azerbaijan.
Yeah,
which is
it's mental, isn't it?
Mad. London derby.
Do you know what it was? I think do you remember when this was a mad coincidence, because remember when Man United played Chelsea in the European Cup final, and that was in Russia.
Yeah.
And
I know they pre-pick their venues, like,
yeah, but this is the thing, they pre-picked the venue, but that was in Russia. That was in Moscow. But the UEFA League final was at Wembley, and it had two Russian teams in it.
Yeah.
So I was thinking at the time, why don't you swap them around, because it'd be less hassle and all that, but they can't.
It's like the Champions League finals in Madrid, Atletico Madrid Stadium this year. You could have Tottenham versus Liverpool. Yeah. It's mental, but that's another thing for Barcelona. They'd love to win it in Madrid, wouldn't they?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, good luck to all the English teams, and
Tottenham.
I say that through gritted teeth.
I do wish them luck.
Their fans are going to have an unbelievable couple of weeks.
Well, they've had an unbelievable season. So,
but one other thing that's come up this week: the PFA awards were announced. I always think they do it too early.
Yeah,
I think they should wait till the end of the season.
They definitely should wait till the end of the season. But I know
football players, they want to get on that plane and get on holiday straight away.
Not if you've won a big trophy like that, mate. You know? They should probably do it the night before the final game. Bit like, you know, that WrestleMania when they do the
no, they can't
Hall
do
of
that, 'cause
Fame.
Players late but yeah, I mean, obviously Virgil van Dijk, PFA Player of the Year, and Sterling Young Player of the Year, 24 years old. I know there's been a bit of
what do you reckon? Is that right?
Yeah, I think they should cut it off at like 21. I think young player should be a young player.
But is there enough?
I think it was Gary Lineker's tweet earlier made me laugh. He said, "Congratulations to Sterling for winning Young Player of the Year. Commiserations to Bobby Charlton, who was runner-up." But
he's always good value for money, isn't he?
Yeah, but no, look, I think Van Dijk. I think Sterling could have won the PFA Player of the Year. Personally, I would have voted for him.
I thought. I'll be honest, mate. I thought he was a better player.
Yeah, I mean, there's
could he have won both? Is that possible?
He could have won both. Yeah.
But one of writers won. Do you
know? Sterling, I think.
Sterling, yeah.
Yeah, I think Sterling won that. So, but he also had the PFA Team of the Year. I mean, I'll go through it quickly. I mean, it's dominated by City and Liverpool. One Man United player in there. So you got Edison in goal, which is right. Alexander-Arnold, right back. Van Dijk, Laporte, Robinson, Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho, Pogba, Mane, Aguero and Sterling. Now, Pogba, he must have paid someone He must have gone round to all his Man United teammates because the players vote for this, didn't they?
I'll tell you exactly what it was. At the time of voting, it was that time when he had that upturn.
Yeah, but even that, even 4 games don't make it across the season. He
had a good 10.
No, he did.
Listen,
Have a good 10. I think
he scored
is the one of the most overrated players in world football.
Who is the most overrated? Do you think him?
Yeah,
because
for the money they paid.
I'll be honest with you, I was looking at that De Gea yesterday, and the things he's done over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
mate,
I do feel a bit sorry for him because as when a goalkeeper makes a mistake, it's 9 times out of 10 it's a goal. A player can make a mistake in centre mid and he can win it back. I do feel, look, De Gea is a world class goalkeeper, but he wants to move to Madrid. Is he doing? I'm not saying that he's making these mistakes on purpose, but is he trying to make himself look bad? So because United want 60 million for him,
he ain't getting a move to Madrid now. They've got they bought that geezer from Chelsea last year.
Yeah, Courtois, who don't even get in the team now. Zidane's putting his boy in goal.
Yeah,
ridiculous. But
maybe.
Yeah, so I mean that was it for the PFA. I mean, Eden Hazard haven't got in there. I mean, his goal against West Ham should have just got him in that team just alone. But he's got more assists than most of them players. But that front three, I mean, Sterling, Aguero, Mane is, I'd probably say it's right, but I would have took out Pogba and put Hazard in there. Even Fernandinho, really. I mean, there's probably David Silva would have probably been a better option.
Look, they actually put up a thing with actual ratings over the season, and it was like, who would have got in there? It was Fabianski would have been in goal. The kid for Crystal Palace, what's his name? Wan-Bissaka, is that his name?
Wan-Bissaka, 2-Bissaka, 3-Bissaka, 4.
No, he was. I think he was right back. There was 5 or 6. Yeah, Liverpool and Chelsea, Liverpool and City players in there, but I think the rest was like Fabianski was in goal, Wan-Bissaka was right back. I think Maddison was in there.
I mean, I can't argue with Edison in goal. He's the best goalkeeper in the league for me. In fact, they could have put him in centre midfield in this because the way he sprays the ball about, he's better than some of the players. Yeah, he's class. But yeah, I mean that's it. I mean, there's a few more things to go through. I'll chuck some things at you. Norwich and Sheffield United promoted at the weekend.
Yeah.
So we look forward to the Carlos Tevez derby next season.
To be honest, I can't remember. We played them in a couple of years ago, didn't we? I can't remember what the atmosphere was like there. Actually, I don't even think I was here. I think I was away at the time.
It's going to be... look, Norwich have had a fantastic season. 2 good away days there. 2 good away days. But I guarantee we get one of them on opening day of the season.
Always the way, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we always get new. But then the other thing, the big talking point this weekend in the Championship, Leeds versus Aston Villa. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see it, yeah. For me, right, personally, they had every right to play on.
Oh, yeah, I think for me, you play to the... I mean, people were saying, but the players stopped. Well, that's their fault because you played to the whistle.
Yeah, exactly.
The referee only has to stop it for a head injury. It wasn't a head injury. They've played on, they've scored, it's all kicked off. Whether they was in the right or the wrong, the Leeds manager Basila, whatever his name is, he's turned around and said, "Let them score." Villa have gone. Leeds defenders tried to tackle him, and it's just all kicked off again. The interesting thing is that if it stays as it is now, Leeds will play Derby in the semi-finals of the playoff, and Villa play West Brom. So Villa and Leeds could meet in the final, which would be very interesting after what happened yesterday.
It's destined to be then, isn't it?
But yeah, I mean, I just personally, I think Leeds were right. I mean, there was a few more that went on over the game but I think what it was when there was a Leeds player down, Aston Villa kicked it out. That's what the big...
Okay, right. So, but over the last few years, right, this is what... I think this is why a few years ago it become sort of like a hashtag illegal to do that sort of thing, right? So you wasn't allowed to kick the ball out for an injury. You wasn't meant to anyway. And they made it so the referee could stop it for head injuries. Now, this is where it gets a little bit confusing because sometimes a referee will just stop it.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether it's a head injury, a leg injury or whatever. I've seen West Ham going on attacks and some guys down. In other times, though, right, I've watched players chuck themselves on the floor.
I think that's why it is hard these days, because you don't know whether it is a real injury or not.
I've seen West Ham going on the attack against teams, and an opposition player will just chuck himself on the floor just to break up the attack because they know
the Leeds player yesterday went down holding his head. He didn't even get touched.
I know. Yeah, I see him. Yeah, Bamford,
Patrick Bamford. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if you're that annoyed that they're playing on, smash one of them up in the air.
Yeah.
Don't stand there watching them and going, no, look, he's down. Just smack one of them. Do you know what I mean? Just stop the game somehow and deal with it after. I think Leeds, to be fair, were well within their right to score that goal. And I don't blame that defender, because if I was that defender, I would have smashed that geezer.
Yeah, but what made me laugh, he went to kick it and he missed it, and then they went through and tapped it in. But look, that I can see why, because mathematically it would have been tough, but Leeds still had a chance of promotion.
Yeah.
It was a big goal difference, so they probably would never have got it. But you never know. Funny things have happened in football. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. The last few games last games in the Championship this weekend.
Did you see the Sheffield United fan on top of the shop?
Oh yeah, fell through the bus stop, wasn't it?
The bus stop. Yeah. He couldn't get down, so he just jumped up in the air and sat down.
He went straight through it, didn't he?
I bet he hurt himself. But
yeah, I mean, it's good to have two different teams. I think teams like Norwich and Sheffield United are probably going to add a lot more than what Huddersfield have added to it.
To be fair, Huddersfield last year were a good team at times. They lost it towards the end, and I knew that they'd go down this season because they
sacked their manager too early as well.
Would you pick up any players from the relegated teams?
Yeah, Aaron Moy. I've always been a big fan of him. There's a couple of other Huddersfield players as well. Mooney, is it?
Mooney, yeah.
I like if Cardiff go down, I'd love to see us get their goalkeeper as a backup for Fabianski.
Who's it?
What's his name? I forgot his name now. It's gone out of my head.
Whoever he is, we'd like to see him. What about... There's another player for Cardiff, isn't there? Like a midfielder or something. I forget his name.
We're doing well on the Cardiff.
No, I forget his name as well, yeah.
It's tough. But no, yeah... Everidge is the goalkeeper. And then you got Bakuna.
Bakuna, yeah, that's the one.
Niaz. Yeah, I mean, look, you're going to have a lot
realistic. I mean, when you look at West Ham, I only look at West Ham really. When you look at Diop and the likes of like Rice and Fabianski, who's now well established in our goal, we've got a nice little base here.
Yeah,
we've got a nice little base to work with.
We've got a good base to build on in the summer, and we just hope we get the budget. But just quickly, let's quickly read out this week's Premier League's fixtures. Friday night, Everton, Burnley. Staying for that one. You got Bournemouth, Tottenham, another early game for Tottenham. West Ham, Southampton, Wolves, Fulham, Cardiff, Palace, and then a 7:45 kickoff on a Saturday, Newcastle versus Liverpool. And this is where I think Liverpool are going to slip up. I think they're going to... I'm going to say it now. I think they're going to lose that game.
Bold prediction.
Sunday, Chelsea, Watford, Huddersfield, Man United, Arsenal, Brighton, and on Monday, Man City play Leicester at home, and I think that's when they're going to clinch the title.
Do you think when two teams are that close together, just before we wrap up, do you think when two teams are both together, do you think it's unfair to make them both play on separate days? Because like, it's funny, isn't it? Because they're playing on Saturday, they can go back to the top, then the pressure's back on Man City.
Yeah.
I remember when we was in a relegation battle, I'll never forget this with Bolton, the year we went down. And I remember we played a game against, I think we beat Tottenham. And on Sky, straight after, so we was a 3 o'clock kickoff, and they was the 5:30 kickoff on a Saturday afternoon. They interviewed Sam Allardyce before the game, and he was setting up against... I can't remember who it was now. They ended up winning the game 3-2, and they said to him, as the West Ham result changed, bear in mind it was the last game of the season.
It was Arsenal they beat.
Arsenal, yeah. As the last game of the season changed the way you've set up this game, he went, absolutely has. Absolutely. Do you think that's fair to give the team the advantage?
No, I know what you're saying. That's why it's always good. The last game of the season, everyone kicks off at the same time. But I think Liverpool obviously had an advantage last weekend. They've got another advantage this weekend with the early game. But I can really see Newcastle causing an upset in this game. I'm probably going to be totally wrong, and Liverpool are going to go and win 4-0 or something. But I just got a feeling St James's Park is a tough place to go, and I just think Newcastle, and I think deep down Rafa might want to put one over Liverpool.
Yeah.
I know he had a great career at Liverpool as a manager, but yeah, I just think, I mean, Man City have got Leicester and Brighton, Liverpool got Newcastle away and Wolves at home. 2 tough games, but yeah, it's going to go down. It's exciting. Yeah,
it's going to go down, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. Next up,
just want to say good luck to the West Ham ladies on Saturday in the FA Cup final. It's a shame we can't be there, but you know the FA won't
4,000 game.
Well, the FA wouldn't move West Ham's game, but they moved Man City's game to the Monday night.
Did they really?
Yep, they moved Man City to Leicester to the Monday night.
So what was that then?
They couldn't move West Ham, Tottenham, West Ham, Southampton because of they said that fans have already made arrangements and travel plans, but they moved the Man City Leicester game in 48 hours notice. So take it out as what you will. I don't know. It's a tough one, but it'd have been good because I reckon the women would have got about 20,000 now.
Yeah, but, got 4,000 and yeah.
Right, I'm going to leave you to do the outro while I set up the leaving song. So I'm going to say good night. Good night.
Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of the Total Football Show. You've been listening to us, Nicky Hawkins and Ryan Archer on Centre Force 883. Coming up next is Daryl Privet with his La Fiesta. Daryl Privet. He'll be back up in 5 minutes. But thank you very much for joining us. One thing left to say, don't forget your boots.